I'm David Scandura.
I'm Justus Burkett.
And today we're here to find out, is Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, the greatest movie ever made?
Look, you're my retainer. Whatever the fuck that is, I do what I'm telling you and fucking shoot me.
I don't know if it's the greatest movie ever made, but I can say that Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai is probably the best movie title ever.
Really excellent title. Also, it's one of those titles, especially when you find out that this movie is, in the Criterion Collection and it's directed by Jim Jarmusch. It's that's a title where it's once you know those things about this movie, you're like, is the title really going to be what the movie's about? Or are we speaking metaphorically when we say The Way of the Samurai? And it's no, motherfucker, this movie is about a samurai named Ghost Dog.
Yeah, and
it's an awesome title, and the movie lives up to the promise of the title in that Ghost Dog follows the way of the samurai.
I think this is on a very short list of movies I watched because of the title.
Yeah.
Other than maybe Hobo with a Shotgun is
right.
on there.
Another one that does live up to the promise of the title.
Right.
That hobo has a shotgun.
It takes him... At the end of Act 1 is him getting the shotgun.
Yep. And then the rest of the movie is that hobo, he's got a shotgun. And by God, he's using it.
But Ghost Dog, the way... I just love saying it, too. Ghost Dog, the way of the samurai.
Yes.
Great
title.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Really cool title. Really good poster. Great font. I love the font that they use, both on the poster and in the opening credits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The whole aesthetic of this thing is the marketing aesthetic, I feel of it. It's they knew what they had. They knew they had a movie called Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai.
Welcome to the greatest movie ever made, the show where we watch a movie and tell you if it's the greatest movie ever made.
Passenger pigeon!
I like the old Italian guy that sort of looks like Martin Scorsese's dad, who goes, he said Ghost Dog when all the mob guys are arguing.
Yes, I like the old guy who yells passenger pigeon. And I think that's the only line that he says that doesn't contain a racial slur. Everything else he says is a slur, basically. And then, sorry, not to jump ahead to one of the best parts of the movie, but when that guy just dies of a fucking heart attack, I was like, holy shit, that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen, is just seeing this fucking old racist just drop dead. Because a guy burst into the room and pointed a gun at him and didn't pull the trigger. Just the act of having a gun pointed at him was enough to send him into cardiac arrest.
A movie that is so thoroughly entertaining and compelling that while you're watching it, it's the only thing that matters in the world. I am David Scandura, joined, as always, by my co-host, Justus Burkett. We're back after a week off.
Yeah. It feels longer. Anytime we take a week off from the show, I'm like, it feels like we haven't done this in forever. But yes, we just took a week off because you had to go and do some stuff. You had some out of state travel.
I went to Maine.
Yeah. I don't know how much you wanted to get into it on Mike, which is why
my brother got his master's degree, so
congratulations, previous guest Matthew Scandura.
Yes,
on being a master. I wish that when you got a master's degree, people had to refer to you in a special way, like when you get a doctorate. Mm-hmm. It'd be funny if he was Master Scandura now or something. But I guess, calling a white guy master in 2026, I feel like we can't be doing that, so never mind.
Okay. It was a good trip. It was my first time going to see him, first time going to Maine.
Yeah.
I flew with my parents on a red eye that was so long.
Yeah.
It was such a long night doing 3 flights. And my parents warned me that they would probably get on my nerves, and they did. But it was fine for the most part.
Yeah.
And we went to Bar Harbor one day and did. There's a tour group that does whale watching, mostly. But we did the lobster fishing tour
Cool.
So we rode around on a lobster boat.
That
And-
seems fun and interesting.
Yeah,
Did you,
yeah.
Did you see them reel in some lobsters?
Yeah, I held the lobster.
Nice.
And
Did you get to eat the lobster? Or
no,
Did you?
no.
Oh, okay.
I did have a lobster roll.
Oh, hell yeah.
I didn't have as much seafood as I thought I might.
Yeah.
Um,
Now the main style lobster roll, is that the one with is that the cold lobster with the like celery and stuff, or was it the hot lobster with butter?
I went to a place that had varieties.
Yeah.
So I had a lobster roll with like lettuce, tomato, and bacon.
Oh, got it.
And I think it was cold.
Yeah, I think New England
but-
style is mostly cold, and then like I think it's like Connecticut style or something that's the hot with the butter. I don't know.
I think I've heard that it's most people get it cold, and then butter is like the only real topping. For
Yeah.
like the lobster roll purists.
Yeah.
And it was good.
yeah.
But otherwise, like I just sort of had whatever was interesting that day. Spent way too much on shitty airport food.
Yeah, as you do when you travel.
Fucking, awful.
When the last time I traveled for work, when I went to Canada at the beginning of this year, I at the airport got one beer and a side of French fries at an airport restaurant, and that shit was like $23. I was like, "What the fuck is happening right now?"
I got a sandwich from not even a sandwich shop, like the kiosks that have like chips and drinks and pre-made stuff.
Yeah,
Pre-made sandwich, fucking $14.
that's outrageous. It's outrageous.
Fucking horseshit.
I know.
But yeah, otherwise it was a good trip. I don't know. Fuck, I'm trying to think of what I could recommend. I watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space with my brother.
Yeah.
And it was a good movie. And then on the flight back, I watched Flow, which was awarded Best Animated Feature a couple years ago at the Oscars.
Yeah.
And it was really good. And it made me miss my cats.
Yeah.
So
I still haven't gotten around to Flow, but I should see it at some point.
yeah, so I'd recommend those.
Nice.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good this week. I feel like the last couple of weeks have been better than previously reported weeks in the recent history of this podcast. I feel like I've been feeling overall pretty positive about how things are going work-wise. And I've been enjoying the longer days. I find that the older I get, the more I'm like a summer guy. When I was in like my early 20s, I was like, fuck summer. Winter is my favorite season. I like when it's cold and dark. And now I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like wearing shorts and being in the sun. It's kind of nice, actually. I think maybe popular opinion was correct about this.
I think summer still sucks.
Yeah.
I think summer, especially up here with no air conditioning,
Yeah.
fucking sucks.
It's sometimes a little rough heat-wise, but like, I don't know.
Spring and fall,
Yeah.
best seasons by far.
Yeah,
I think.
we had like an 80-degree day this week, though, and I was like, 80 degrees is fucking rad. I kind of love when it's 80 degrees. But anyway, so yeah, and I've been feeling good, and I have been more consistent in the gym, which is making me happy.
That's good.
Related to that, sort of, because I listened to it while working out, is one of my media recommendations, which is Frozen Soul's new album, No Place of Warmth. Frozen Soul is a death metal band, and this is like just kind of an old school death metal record, and it is good, and I like it a lot.
Yep.
And I was turned on to it because you shared the song with me that Gerard Way guests on, which is like the first track on the album. But and there's some other features on the album, like Sanguisugabog is on one of the tracks, and it's all really good. Good shit. So if you like death metal, listen to No Place of Warmth by Frozen Soul. I also fucking rewatched In a Violent Nature and just doubling down on how much I love that movie.
That's a great movie for spring or late spring, early summer.
I had to watch it because I was like, it's hiking season. Like there's a local restaurant here in Flagstaff that does like a challenge every year where if you hike one of the mountains here in town, Mount Eldon, before 8 a.m., they're like staff from the restaurant is waiting at the top with coupons for free pizza. And I do that every May. And as I was thinking about like, oh yeah, pretty soon it's going to be time to do Gira de Eldon and like get the free pizza from Pizzacletta. I was like, you know what I want to watch? A movie where a guy hikes a bunch. Because ultimately, In a Violent Nature is like, it is like 30 to 40% slasher movie, but it is like 60 to 70% watching a guy hike.
That movie is almost perfect. The
Yeah.
only thing that would make it perfect for me is like 15 more minutes of hiking.
Yeah.
I just need 15 more minutes of that big fucker trudging through the woods.
I completely agree. And also, if they took away the one flashback where it explains the necklace, because I don't like that moment. And I think that it's like the only moment in the movie that is like not meeting the audience where they're at. It's like maybe trying to over explain a little bit. And I'm like, no, you don't need that. I get it. It's fine. Don't show me the flashback of his dad being like, you'll always be our little boy, Johnny. Here's the necklace. I'm like, no, cut that shit out. Put in more trudging and get rid of that shit. You know what my favorite part of that movie is? When he sits down. He sits down one time.
When he sits down to play with the truck?
Yes. I love when he sits down because he's been walking and then one time he sits down.
He takes a rest.
Yeah, he takes off his mask and then he just kind of looks at the truck for a little bit. I love that guy. I'm excited for In a Violent Nature too. I watched the trailer and it's like...
Oh, there's a trailer out?
Yeah, there's a trailer out. Yeah. I watched the trailer and I was like, it seems a little light on the trudging in the trailer, but I guess that's maybe not what they would focus on. But I hope there is just as much, if not more, trudging than in the first one. It does look like that they did not take my advice that they should just remake the exact same movie again, but from the point of view of the victims instead of the killer. But that's understandable because I don't think that was a very marketable idea. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, I'm good. And Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai.
Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai.
Yes.
From 1999, directed by Jim Jarmusch.
Yes. What a great name, Jim Jarmusch.
He also, have you seen him too?
He's a cool looking guy.
Dude looks nuts.
Yeah.
He looks like a sci-fi villain in like a 90s movie.
It's funny because
like he looks like a background extra in like The Fifth Element or Star Trek: The Next Generation.
It's funny because him and Spike Jonze sort of had, I feel like they occupied like a sort of a similar space in film at around a similar time. They were like contemporaries in a lot of ways. But I feel like if you look at Jim Jarmusch and Spike Jonze, and if you showed the pictures of the two of those guys to people and we're like, which one of these guys do you think is named Spike Jonze and which one do you think is named Jim Jarmusch? If someone didn't have context on either of them, they would guess wrong every time. You'd be like, well, that guy, the guy who looks cool and awesome, is clearly named Spike Jonze. But yeah.
I don't have a lot of context for Jim Jarmusch, actually.
Yeah.
This is one of two films that I've seen from him. The other one is the Western Dead Man with Johnny Depp. And Jim Jarmusch, I know, I've heard of his other movies, and I know that he tends to do kind of very minimalist, deadpan, dry humor stories that can meander and don't really adhere to like traditional story structure a lot of the times, which is like
plot light and kind of mood pieces.
Yeah, that's very true of Dead Man,
Right.
which I had seen. I can't remember if I saw it before Ghost Dog, but I watched that because I had heard about it as a fan of Westerns. And at the time, I didn't really get it because it's just like Johnny Depp going across the riding across the West and having strange encounters with people along the way.
Yeah.
And I was like, but where are the shootouts? Why is Alfred Molina here as a fur trapper or something like that?
Yeah.
Just showing up in the movie. But I watched Ghost Dog as a blind buy from Criterion.
Yeah.
I had seen the clip of Forrest Whitaker doing practicing his katana.
Yes.
And doing kung fu on a rooftop.
Yeah.
And I found out that the movie was called Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai. And when the Criterion sale came around, I fucking added that bitch into my cart.
Yeah.
And this is my second time watching it.
Yeah, and this is my first time with it, and I have never seen... This is my first Jim Jarmusch movie. I have never seen a Jim Jarmusch movie before. Jim Jarmusch is one of those guys where I feel like this is a pretty large category of directors for me still. He was firmly planted in the category of director I have heard about and know that I should watch the movies of, but have literally never seen a single one of his movies. Mm-hmm. There's lots of people fall into that category, and so he was one of those for me, where he was like on my radar. I knew about Jim Jarmusch. I kind of knew some of his stylistic like hallmarks as a director just from cultural osmosis and like being on like film Twitter adjacent for a while and shit. Like I knew about him, but I had never seen a second of any of his movies.
Yeah, and as I have been getting into Tom Waits more and more over the last few years, Jim Jarmusch's name came up because Tom Waits is in Down by Law, and then he also did the score for the soundtrack score for the movie was Night on Earth. So that was another way that Jim Jarmusch's name popped up.
Yeah.
I want to watch more of his movies now after revisiting Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai.
Yep. I'm certainly interested in this filmography after watching this film. I will say that. Yeah. Ghost Dog: Way of the Samurai. Sort of speaking of Jim Jarmusch's collaborations with musicians, like we just were about him and Tom Waits. RZA obviously heavily involved in this movie.
Yeah,
he did the score, but also sort of like this is a very Wu-Tang Clan movie. And it was funny because I did not know anything about this movie going in, as evidenced by how I reacted to it being picked at the end of our last episode. I didn't even know. I hadn't even known Forrest Whitaker was in this movie until you told me. So going in completely blind. Opening credits are happening. We're doing like the aerial footage of like the industrial yards and stuff with the opening credits over it. And there's this hip hop beat. And I was like, man, this sounds so much like Wu-Tang Clan, but I don't think this is a Wu-Tang Clan song. And then like a minute later, the credit came up, score by RZA. And I was like, well, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a really... sort of the whole ethos of the Wu-Tang Clan feels like it influenced the DNA of this movie. Like, it just feels like a movie where I don't think Jim Jarmusch wrote the screenplay, right? Who wrote
He did.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Okay.
This was Jim Jarmusch's idea.
Okay, cool.
He wanted to write a movie about a killer that was sort of a likable protagonist that we could root for.
Yeah.
And his first choice for the role was Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
And pitched him the idea, and said, I'm going to write the screenplay, and if you don't like the screenplay, you don't have to do the movie. But Forrest Whitaker was really game for it.
Yeah.
And then
hard not to like this screenplay too.
Yeah.
I think it's a well-written movie.
Yeah. And then Jim Jarmusch's first pick for the music was RZA because he was a Wu-Tang fan.
That's cool.
And I guess the music that RZA wrote is not like scores for specific scenes. He just like wrote themes.
Yeah.
And then they kind of plugged them in throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple Wu-Tang affiliates, the extended Wu-Tang Clan family.
Yes.
That are the Crips that are rapping in the park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that scene. I love when they're all like surrounded around the boombox rapping, and Ghost Dog is kind of watching them, being like, "Yeah, those guys are fucking like this is sick," I the moments where he interacts with his community, I feel like is a lot. Those moments are where the Wu-Tang Clan or the RZA score specifically, I feel like kind of takes control of the movie too. Like I feel like when you see Ghost Dog in his streets as opposed to on assignment or whatever, because it feels like there's one of the things about the character is it feels like there's kind of two guys. There's like the guy who is sort of well liked and everybody in his community knows him.
Yeah.
And he's respected and liked, by the neighborhood. And then there is the professional hitman Ghost Dog. And those are kind of like, it's the same guy, but it's really, he keeps those lives pretty separate.
Yeah, the nighttime sequences where Ghost Dog's walking through the streets and then breaking into cars with his special little
I love his electronic doohickey. Yeah, his thing where he presses a button and it just makes electronics do shit.
Yeah. He carries himself very differently as like a physical performance.
Yeah.
And he's like, during the nighttime scenes, like no one notices him. He just walks through the streets silently.
There's a great shot. I think it's toward the beginning when he's like going out for the first time to take out Handsome Frank. I think it's then when there's like a guy taking the trash out, and he like as the guy is taking the trash out, Forrest Whitaker just walks right behind him, and the guy turns around like right after Forrest Whitaker has passed him by in such a way that this guy never saw him at all. Like his face is just never pointed in the same direction where he would have seen him. So he is like kind of navigating through the world like a ghost. Like he just like disappears. It's cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Cool is a really good word to describe this movie.
This movie's cool.
It's cool as fuck. It's probably one of the coolest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, it would be. I think the primary descriptor I would use for this movie is cool.
Yeah.
It just embodies cool in like the atmosphere of it, the spirit of it, the energy. It's just cool.
Yeah. And a huge part of that is Forrest Whitaker's performance too, because he's just a cool guy.
Yeah, I think one could call him the coolest man who has ever lived.
Yeah, I wasn't even trying to set you up for that, but you're right.
I actually think that maybe Ghost Dog is the coolest man who has ever lived.
Yeah.
In the history of our show
I think that might be true. I think it would be hard to top him. Yeah. He probably will hold the crown until some future date where we identify a cooler man. But yeah, man, like his existence is both like monk-like and austere, but also like, I don't know. There's the thing that I was talking about a second ago where it's like he is kind of a pillar of his community. He's like friends with the ice cream man who is clearly a recent immigrant to the U.S. who like doesn't speak English. He's like nice to the kid and everything. And it's like, yeah, this guy is like, he's a badass and, he's a hitman and he's like also like a samurai warrior that follows this ancient code and stuff. But I think more importantly than that, he's also like invested in the place where he lives and is trying to like kind of pull everybody else up.
Yeah. He's he lives by his code. He takes it very seriously. He's also interested in like sharing and passing down knowledge with people.
Yeah.
And there's he has his friendship with Raymond, which is one of the coolest aspects of this movie.
Yeah, I love it.
Where they speak completely different languages and they don't understand each other.
But they do understand each other.
But they do sort of find a way to have an understanding with each other. And he also has this kind of stoic loneliness to him.
Right.
But he seems content with it. It is like, what Ghost Dog spends his time doing is, in his, he reads The Way of the Samurai, the Hakaguri.
Yeah.
Hagakure. I think that's how it's pronounced. He reads that in his rooftop shack.
Yes.
He takes care of his pigeons. He takes naps.
Yes.
He trains with the blade. It goes out and kills people, and he sits in the park and reads books.
Eats a lot of chocolate ice cream.
Just what a life this guy has.
Yeah. The rooftop shack with the pigeons, like, I do agree. His whole thing is cool. the rooftop shack is sort of an extension of his kind of like monk-like approach to existence. I don't love living in a shack that is just constantly coated in pigeon shit, because when you see it from the outside, it is just absolutely covered in bird shit. And then at one point, after he gets the book from the mob boss's daughter, after he gets Rashomon, and he's reading it on the roof, he is just sleeping outside using like a bag of bird seed as a pillow with all these pigeons around him. I am like, it is a miracle you are not waking up covered in shit.
Yeah, we could have used a scene of him cleaning the coop.
Yeah.
And mopping up the floor.
That many pigeons, though, I feel like any cleaning you do is immediately undone.
Do they all have names?
I don't know. He does have an emotion. He clearly has an emotional attachment to the pigeons as sort of a collective. I'm not sure how much he is getting invested in individual pigeons. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're all named or not. He kind of seems like the kind of guy who would have names for every pigeon, though. You know, even though there's like 100 of them.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you tell them apart.
They all got different like spots and shit, I guess.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have much else to do other than look at pigeons.
Yeah. You know what the coolest thing that he does?
Huh.
He puts his gun. He holsters his gun like he would holster a sword.
Yes, he does the little like
does a
swing with
flip.
it. Yeah, it is a testament to both the coolness of this movie and of Forrest Whitaker that shit is not lame or cringe at all when he does it, which is crazy because it's like if you showed me any other human being doing this exact same thing, I would be like, that guy's a fucking loser.
This movie does the fucking magic performs it. This movie performs a miracle in that Ghost Dog is a completely sincere, serious, cool character and doesn't come across as the guy who works at the sword shop in the mall.
Yeah, as a fucking dork-ass neckbeard weeb.
Yeah.
And I think a large part of that is due to Forrest Whitaker being a very good actor and just an extremely cool guy that just oozes cool, right? I also think that there is just a truism in the Western world and in America specifically, which is that you can be super obsessed with Japanese culture and be black and be cool.
He's kind of the original black nerd.
Yes, he really is. He really is. And RZA also kind of is that, right?
Yeah.
He's the progenitor of a lot of that fascination with Japanese culture among, black youth and stuff.
Sure.
If you have the exact same cultural obsession and you are a white American, immediately not cool. And I think that is just a truism. It's just something that white guys just have to accept. It's like a black guy can be into the exact same stuff that you're into and he can be cool and you're never going to be as cool as him and you just have to live with it.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah. I think that's also part of the thing with this movie too, is that like Ghost Dog works for this Italian, white crime family, right? And part of the thing here that is happening is like he is sort of embodying, in my mind, he's sort of embodying like black excellence in this movie. He's so much better at what he does than any of the guys he works for because he like cares more and tries harder. And you get the impression that it's because he has come from a life where he has had to like work harder to get what he has, right? Like he has had to like work a lot harder for respect and to hone his skills and stuff, whereas these guys in this Italian crime family, like, we're in the late 90s now. All of these guys are like second generation,
right?
And all of them just had shit handed to them, which I kind of feel like is a key thing that's happening in this movie. Is it's like he's a professional and they're all kind of like playing make pretend crime boss. Like none of them are actually good at this. And he's actually like the one who is like skilled and competent.
Well, and part of it is this movie is about philosophies codes of ethics
Yeah.
and culture.
Yeah.
And the mafia guys are kind of clinging to the outdated mafia code of honor.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a similar thing that's happening in The Sopranos, which I think comes out a few months after Ghost Dog came out in theaters.
Yeah, but it's like they're kind of harkening back to this thing that doesn't really make sense anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
They're all old fat guys whose time has come.
Yes.
And is long gone. That's one of the things I love about this movie is that all the mobsters are old fat guys. And then Ghost Dog is drawing on a sort of a culture that is long past too. He's drawing on the code of the samurai, but there is that link that it has with Black Power and solidarity among Black communities.
Yeah.
And you feel that with the way he interacts with the community, with the way he interacts with RZA, or some of the guys on the street, where like the things that they're saying about respect, about honor, about knowledge, those are linked from the code of the samurai and from Black Power.
Yeah.
And though, because he has that strong moral and ethical philosophy, that is part of what makes him an efficient killer.
Yeah.
And just a character that we can root for and identify with.
Yeah. And one of the ways that my brain was kind of thinking about it while I was watching the movie is it's like, oh, the Italian mob guys are conservatives, basically.
Yeah.
Because they are trying to preserve tradition for the sake of preserving tradition.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure there's even a line that one of them has about like bringing back the glory days or going back to the glory days. Like there's some talk of that that felt very conservative to me, where it's like, oh, if only it was like the old days again,
right,
when everything was great. And instead of that, like Ghost Dog is also sort of clinging to an antiquated tradition, but he's not conservative. He is like appreciating and preserving culture. Right. And I think this movie does a really good job at underscoring the difference between progressing society into the future using knowledge and cultural traditions from the past versus clinging to tradition for the sake of clinging to tradition in a conservative way.
Yeah.
Right. And I really, really love that, like the dichotomy of that is like so plainly laid out, especially between like Ghost Dog and Louis, because one of the things that Louis says multiple times, it becomes kind of his like mantra in the movie, is nothing makes any sense anymore. He says that over and over. And like, that's one of the last things we hear him say. And it's like, yeah, that's how conservatives feel. Like the world has changed around them and they're like, I don't understand new things and it's scary to me. And I'm reacting by trying to like keep things the way they are.
Yeah. Yeah. The mafia guys are running a Chinese restaurant.
Yes.
That's like a perfect right. One, funny as fucking hell. Such a funny gag that the movie just like doesn't really draw attention to.
I love when they're all just sitting, when Ghost Dog is like actively hunting them and they know it, and they're all just sitting around in this Chinese restaurant doing jack shit. Like they're just like playing cards and smoking cigars and doing fucking nothing, just sitting on their asses. Meanwhile, he's out there like fucking getting his sniper rifle from out from under the floorboards. Like, it's so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's clear that these, the cultural ideas and the traditions of the mob, at least in this movie, are completely antiquated and outdated at this point. And these guys are just clinging on to. In a way, it's a critique of the honor and the tradition and the family aspects of stuff like The Godfather.
Right.
Which is another thing about The Sopranos, one of the greatest TV shows in the world, is that it's like this is the generation of gangsters who grew up watching mob movies.
Right.
So their experiences kind of filtered through that lens of Godfather and Goodfellas and stuff like that.
Yes,
This movie has like plenty of guys who have worked with Scorsese and just background heavies in gangster movies and action movies from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. So like this movie's clearly tapping into that as well.
Yeah. Another thing that I think is funny is that like multiple of the Italian mob guys are just watching cartoons. They're watching like Fritz the Cat and like Betty Boop and shit. And I think it's like it's such a funny way to kind of underscore that theme again of like the difference between Ghost Dog and these guys is there's the great moment where the mob boss guy, the like top dog, is like has a book open and he's not reading the book and he's watching Fritz the Cat cartoons instead. And like so much of this book is about so much of this movie is about Ghost Dog reading books, right? Mm-hmm. He is well read and like educated, and like he spends all of his free time kind of accumulating more knowledge, right? And then to see the like flip side of that and see the mob boss guy with a book open and instead he's just like watching a children's cartoon it's like such a funny way for the movie to kind of drive that point home and be like, yeah, these guys are cosplaying being mob bosses, but they're like very like intellectually uncurious and immature, you know?
Yeah, and I love that the cartoons are kind of the scenes that we're seeing in the cartoons reference actual scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
That's just a cool bit of like foreshadowing and stuff like that. But also the other thing is like I think this movie is about violence.
Yeah.
And for the gangsters, violence is kind of, both the gangsters and Ghost Dog live lives of violence. For the gangsters, it is such a frivolous, thoughtless act.
Yeah.
And that's conveyed through the cartoons because they're just watching silly, stupid, violent cartoons. But the way that they go about violence is like it's matters of convenience. It's all based in betrayal and backstabbing. They send Ghost Dog to do this job, and just because the wrong person was there at the wrong time, now they're going to put out a hit on him to, keep things within the family and the image that they're trying to project.
Yeah. And if you really think about that decision, it's so stupid too. Like it doesn't actually make any sense. It's kind of another indication that the system of ethics that they are beholden to is just antiquated and doesn't make any sense anymore. Because it's like, oh yeah, we have to kill the hitman because the boss's daughter saw him, and it's like, who cares? Like,
and Ghost Dog approaches violence in a more thoughtful, measured way.
Right.
And
he's a samurai. He's a warrior with a code of ethics and he has respect for his opponents and
Right.
Yeah.
His Louis betrays him at the end of the movie, and Ghost Dog still has too much respect and honor to raise his hand against him. He dies because by his according to his code, he can't raise his sword against his master.
Yeah, he's like, liege lord, I'm your retainer.
Yeah.
I don't mean no disrespect.
Yeah.
I love when he says that. He says that a bunch of times in the movie, and every time I was like, God damn, that's so cool. Yeah. And I like that Louis does it. It's not even a thing where Louis is feeding into this at all. Louis doesn't understand Ghost Dog's code, and he doesn't have to be instrumental to it, which is also a really interesting thing. Is that like Ghost Dog is a samurai. He is treating Louis as his liege lord, basically. And like Louis didn't ask for this. Louis doesn't know that he is the liege lord to a samurai.
Yeah.
Right. And when he is like given this knowledge, he's like, what the fuck are you saying to me right now? I don't understand.
Yeah,
this.
Louis just learned to be like, that's just Ghost Dog. Ghost
Yeah.
Dog just does things differently.
Yeah.
And I just kind of got to roll with it.
But like his participation isn't required, right? It's like Ghost Dog is going to practice his tradition, his culture that he's adopted, regardless of whether a guy who is like part of it for him like gives a shit or not. Which I think is so cool. It's like it's also like there's something in there about like authenticity and like living authentically, which Ghost Dog is doing, right? And it's like, yeah, people around you who you're connected to like might not understand this shit. Oh well. They'll just like learn to live with it, and and for a while, like when they're working successfully together, Louis is just like, I don't know, he's weird, like he thinks he's a fucking samurai. I don't know, he does this flip thing every time he puts his gun away.
I gotta contact him with carrier pigeons.
yeah I don't even know where he lives. Well, I love the scene where they sit Louis down and ask like to get information about Ghost Dog from him, and he's like, I don't fucking know. Like he sends me a pigeon. I like that the guy he has to kill at the beginning of the movie is called Handsome Frank, and then you see this guy and he's just the least fat old Italian guy, but he's still like completely bald and like this guy's like past his prime. But, when they were all young, he was pulling all the tails. So he's Handsome Frank.
Yeah. I like the actor's name is Henry Silva. He plays the I forget all the stupid fucking Guido names in this movie.
Yeah.
But he plays the head mafioso.
Yeah.
That dude's got a fucking mug on him.
Yeah, boy, does he. He kind of reminded me of, his name's Ray Vargo. That's the character name.
Yeah.
He kind of, to me, looked like if you mixed Robert Patrick with Jim Jones. Like, because Robert Patrick kind of has the like tight features that Ray Silva has, but he's also kind of he has like a Jim Jones thing going on. But before Jim Jones was like really fat.
Yeah, he's got like a very angular face too.
Yeah. Which Robert Patrick has too. Yeah. Lots of guys with faces in this movie. A lot of ugly mugs. John Tormey, who plays Louis, great face on that guy. Cliff Gorman, who plays Sonny, just looks like Jim Jarmusch was like, okay, I know I can't get Robert De Niro. I'm just going to find a guy who looks as much like Robert De Niro as I can possibly find. And he like did okay. Like that's kind of what this guy looks like. But yeah, also like not for nothing, I am not a person of Italian descent. No movie has made me want to use racial slurs against Italians more than Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai. When I saw all these guys sitting on their asses in that Chinese restaurant,
these
I was like, look at this fucking group of wops.
These fucking wops just sitting around this whole fucking movie. I love when
these no good fucking Ginzers.
They have this. There's this like apartment that they have, or the space that they've rented, and then the landlord comes in and yells at them.
Yeah.
And then it's just like 45 seconds of each guy in the room just kind of going, well, I don't know, in silence. Like eating sandwiches and shit. And I'm just like, guys, there's a hitman after you.
But they're and like, but the gabagool.
Your blood is like mostly marinara at this point. It's just too hard for them to get up and move.
Yeah. Right. Their joints are so stiff from all the fucking sodium.
They are just like caricatures of mob guys in a way that's still sort of understated, and it's not over the top.
No,
but you do look at these guys and you're like, wow, you guys have just seen you guys have seen Goodfellas too many times.
Yeah, and the movie is more of like a vibes movie and like a mood piece and a character study of.
It is a big vibes movie.
Yeah, and a character study of Ghost Dog, because the threat of the mob never really feels that immediate, because they're all like fat old guys. Like the movie is about like the plot of the movie involves these guys doing violence to each other. But you're never really like, oh, they're right on Ghost Dog's tail.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, dude, he'll get around to him when he's ready.
Ghost Dog has
first
time.
He has to have an ice cream cone with this little girl.
Ghost Dog has time to go to the park and get
Yeah.
ice cream and go to the pet store to get bird feed.
Oh yeah, I like when he daps up the Bloods outside of the pet store too. That's a cool moment. I like that he has a moment with Bloods and Crips in this movie.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Ghost Dog.
I think that's a really it's I think that's a really good point. It's a really good aspect of this movie. Is how we talked about this a little bit already, but how involved Ghost Dog is with the black community.
Yeah.
And it is kind of a movie about unity and crossing cultural boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the and then there's there's the moment with RZA, and it's like, of course they're gotta put RZA in the movie.
Yeah. I love RZA's cameo in this movie though, where he's just like a badass. He's another samurai.
Yeah.
Is immediately what you clock it as, because it's like it's basically two equals meeting. Everybody else that has addressed Ghost Dog in the street when he's like walking through the neighborhood has kind of addressed him with like deference and respect. They've kind of been like, oh, Ghost Dog, you're the man, right? And when he meets RZA, it's like more like they're equals, because he's just another samurai, and it makes me want to see fucking where's the movie starring RZA as the other samurai? We should have made that movie too.
Is that Man with the Iron Fists?
I guess so. I guess
RZA,
it is.
And RZA just made another movie too that just came out.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
I don't know if he's in it, but
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a big vibes movie
Yeah.
for sure, as we said. And the vibes are, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's just cool. The beats are cool.
Yep.
The cinematography's cool.
Yep.
This thing looks like a Michael Mann movie at points.
I was gonna say
With the nighttime photography.
I am so glad I watched Thief a little bit ago before seeing this movie, because like I feel like it just made me, first of all, I feel like it made me appreciate both movies more.
Yeah.
That I had Thief under my belt. But also I feel like it made me appreciate kind of what Jim Jarmusch is tipping his hat to in this movie.
Yeah.
Because this is a movie that is full of lots of references and homages, not like really overt ones, but kind of subtle ones to other movies. Like there is some like Godfather stuff in here. There is some like Kung Fu movie stuff in here. Like when Ghost Dog ducks behind something or like takes his gun out or puts it away, they add really subtle like whoosh, whoosh, sound effects to it, like a Kung Fu movie. And similarly, I feel like watching this movie, I was like, oh, this feels like not just a similar visual aesthetic, but it feels like kind of an intentional tip of the hat to movies like Thief, right? About like, because the DNA of this movie is like a criminal professional who is exceptionally good at his job gets double-crossed by people in the criminal underworld who are not as good at their jobs as he is.
Right.
And he takes violent revenge. Like, it feels very much like Jim Jarmusch is like, I love Michael Mann's Thief. Let me make my version of that.
It's also like Jean-Pierre Melville, in European crime thrillers, also Japanese crime thrillers.
Yeah.
There's an element of like comic books in here too.
Yeah.
And neo-noir plays a very heavy influence. It sort of reminds me a little bit of Nicholas Winding Refn's Drive.
Yeah.
Because watching Thief and Drive, I was like, oh, Refn just wholesale ripped off Thief for this movie.
Yeah.
But Drive is also this combination of influences from noir, from westerns, from just like 70s car movies too, like carsploitation movies.
Yeah.
And he sort of distills them into something that feels new.
Yeah.
And watching Ghost Dog, the references are very clear. They're rarely like beating you over the head with the references, but it feels new.
Yes. Yeah. It feels like it's like he's kind of dipping into all of these styles and cultures and sort of aesthetics that are familiar to us, but he's not like just living in them as they exist. He's kind of synthesizing them into like a unique artifact. For
right.
sure.
It's not really a genre flick.
No,
it's not a Robert Rodriguez movie.
No,
yeah.
Right. We're not just doing genre.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think that's one of the things that makes it such a big vibes movie is like he combines all of these kind of disparate pieces and then just kind of lets you sit in the soup that they make.
Yeah.
Which is really, it's kind of cool. Like, it's great when Ghost Dog is just driving in a car he stole and he like takes out a CD. He's wearing the white gloves to not leave any fingerprints, and he takes out the CD and flips it over a couple times because he's cool as fuck, and then he pops it into the CD player and we just get a sick needle drop, and he just drives around for a little bit.
Yeah, the slow pacing of this movie and the gaps between dialogue. Like Ghost Dog doesn't say any dialogue on screen for like half an hour of the movie.
No, yeah, he probably has like 20 lines in this movie. He doesn't talk a lot.
It gives you space to sit in the vibes and also just think about the movie.
Yeah.
And think about the samurai aphorisms that come from the book that Forrest Whitaker does voiceover of that pop up throughout the movie.
Yeah. I like how those sometimes address something that has just happened, something that is happening right now, or something that's about to happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes you kind of don't get which of those things it is until things have played out a little more, which is very cool.
Yeah.
I really, really like one of my favorites, and I think it's the one of those that is like kind of played for a laugh, is the one about like how a samurai should refresh his appearance by applying rouge, and it's when he changes into the suit that he stole.
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's funny. I love that they're using this like device that they've mostly been using to kind of deliver themes and like just general wisdom and stuff. Now they're kind of using it as a laugh line, which I really like.
Yeah, and it gives you it gives Ghost Dog a sense of interiority.
Yeah,
and you feel like you understand him even though he has so little dialogue.
Yeah, I was going to say that the 20 lines that he has in this movie I was referring to are not including the interstitial title card things where he's reading large chunks of the samurai manual. Yeah. I love all of that stuff, and I love that it does kind of give you an insight into how he is thinking and like how he views the world and stuff, because like his external performance, like when he's interacting with other characters, he's like very guarded, you know, except when he's with Raymond, because when he's with Raymond he's like actually a lot more like easygoing. Like he gets a lot looser with Raymond, which I also really liked because it shows that their friendship is like genuine.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, the Raymond scenes are so good.
I love Raymond. I like that's a part of this movie that I really wasn't expecting, because Raymond doesn't show up for a little while, and I was like, okay, I have a handle on what this movie's going to be. And honestly, for a little bit, because he meets the boss's daughter when he kills Handsome Frank, right? And she gives him the Rashomon book, and I was like, oh, this is going to be Thief, and he is going to just like start having a relationship with this woman that is like kind of fucked up and weird. But then it's not that, and that character mostly disappears from the movie. And then the relationship that I did not see coming was his friendship with Raymond, where when that gets established, I was like, oh, I misread this movie. Like, this is not James Caan from Thief. This guy is like more sensitive and kind of stable and well adjusted than that.
Yeah,
like he's like
yeah.
yeah.
James Caan from Thief is many things. Well adjusted is not.
No,
one of them.
But Ghost Dog kind of is. Ghost Dog kind of has like a good
because he's the man.
Yeah, right. Yes. But yeah, like him interacting with Raymond, it's like they speak two different languages. Like Raymond only speaks French, but they've spent enough time around each other that even though they don't understand that the words the other one is saying, they get what's going on. You know, you can just like after a while you can just read your homie's vibe.
Yeah.
you know?
And it's always funny when one of them says something and then the other person says it right back.
Yeah, right. Where Ghost Dog will be like, hey, you know, sun's going down. I got some business that I got to attend to. And Raymond's like, oh, I guess you'll be going soon because the sun's going down and you probably have some business to attend to.
Yeah.
Those are funny moments, but in addition to being funny, I kind of found them like beautiful and profound.
Yes, that's the thing with their relationship. Is it's like, it's funny on paper and then and even in practice, but watching the movie, there's such a depth to their relationship that when you get to the end of the movie and like and Ghost Dog is giving Raymond his suitcase of of hitman stuff and his gun, and then he gives the book to Perline, you feel and then what Raymond says that he saw a guy with a broken arm and his arm in a sling, and then he's like, oh, there he is, and you feel a sense of danger that Ghost Dog's violent world is now interacting with his day-to-day life.
Yes, right. That now Raymond and Perline, who have been sort of innocents in all this and are sort of representative of his more like human side, right, are like now being dragged into this like dark, violent world. Yeah.
And it's really remarkable how well the movie is able to land that moment because it spent time building up this relationship in such a unique way.
Yeah, and like when Louis is pointing the gun at Raymond, it makes you feel so much more like on edge than any time anybody has been pointing a gun at Ghost Dog for the whole movie. Because anytime somebody points a gun at Ghost Dog, you're like, Ghost Dog can handle it, you know? But it's like, no, don't point a gun at Raymond. That's my homie with the ice cream truck. Like, he's a sweet man, you know? He's like nice and good and pure and must be protected. He's got a little book about bears. I love when he's talking about Ghost Dog and to Perline, and he's like, my friend Ghost Dog, that's my best friend. He's like a bear. And then he starts reading about bears and how they share resources with other bears, even though they tend to be solitary, but like in times of need they cooperate, right? And I'm just like, man, he gets him so well. Like he like totally has a read on him. Like you get why they're friends, because he's like, no, yeah, I understand your deal. Like you're like a big, tough, scary guy, but you're actually a sweetie at heart, and you'll like help people out if you see that they're in need.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a similar dialogue scene in Hobo with a Shotgun that's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like the hobo is a bear.
Yeah.
Because he's big and scary, but he'll help you out. But don't provoke him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would love to talk bears with Raymond. I know a lot of bear facts, and I feel like even though I don't speak any French, we could have a good conversation about bears.
You got a bear fact to drop on us?
There are 8 extant species of bear, and I can name them all if you're interested. There's the American black bear, there's the Asiatic black bear, there's the brown bear, polar bear, panda bear, of course. There's the sloth bear, there is the sun bear, and there is lastly the spectacled bear. Sun bear is the smallest species of bear and also the only one with short hair.
What about red pandas?
Red pandas are not a bear.
Okay.
They're a marsupial, I believe.
I think I've heard that actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
But those are thank you. High Priestess Pod is giving me silent applause. She's proud of me for remembering the 8 extant species of bear.
Thanks for those bear facts.
Yeah. Also, Kodiak bears, grizzly bears, subspecies of brown bear. So not their own thing.
Okay.
They're just Anyway. But yeah, I feel like me and Raymond could
Bro, you got to watch Grizzly Man.
I really do.
We talked about In a Violent Nature earlier,
Yeah.
and I did a double feature of In a Violent Nature and Grizzly Man. Best fucking night of my life.
I feel like I'd have the wrong takeaway from Grizzly Man because I feel like I would be like, getting killed by a bear, that's kind of how I want to go. If it meant that I could befriend a bear, I would not mind if it killed me, I think.
It is. That movie is incredible.
Yeah.
And it is so sad.
Yeah. I just fear that I'd be like, he was right. He did nothing wrong.
You must never listen to this.
I won't, Werner. Yes. Ghost dog.
Ghost dog lives by a code, but in the chaos of the universe, does it really matter?
What is he searching for in his moments of solitude? He has surrounded himself with pigeons.
Pigeons.
The dumbest of their stupidity is astounding. If you don't know what we're referencing, just Google
Werner Herzog chickens.
Yes, Werner Herzog talking about chickens.
The enormity of their stupidity, the enormity of their flat brain.
I love how much contempt he has for chickens. That's so awesome.
The one line, the line that I need more context for is when he goes, "Chickens are very prone to hypnosis." And in one or two, in like several of my films, I've shown this. I'm like, Werner, I need to know what movie you hypnotized a chicken.
Would you care to elaborate on that, sir?
You have like 60 movies, and I do want to watch them all, but like, I gotta get to the hypnotized chickens.
What you may not know is that all the boom operators for Fitzcarraldo were chickens that I hypnotized. I taught them how to run sound.
Klaus Kinski tried to eat them.
I said, Klaus, if you bite the head off of one more live chicken, I swear to God, I will shoot you with a gun. I'll separate your soul from your body in front of all of these people.
Your blood will run down the Amazon River. I feel like Werner and Klaus would like actually be good friends if they just stopped going to the Amazon together.
Right.
Every few years, Werner's like, "All right, Klaus, time to shoot another movie in the Amazon."
Yes, it's time to make my friend want to kill me again. My insane friend. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Ghost dog.
Yeah. So we talked about a little bit about his like magic gadget that just like makes electronics and shit work. A thing that I like in this movie is that it sort of in some ways does the opposite of the Thief thing, because in Thief everything is so specific. Like the tools and equipment are like so we spend so much time on how shit works in Thief. In Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai, it's kind of just like this guy is sort of magic, you know?
Yeah.
Like the world sort of bends around him, you know? He's like invisible when he wants to be. Like when he switches the license plates and that family is just like at the picnic table like, and not paying attention to him. The thing just like magically working to start cars and open the gate and shit. I'm like, I love that we don't dwell too much on the how. It's like, no, he just like has this effortless power to him, you know, where like reality just warps to make way for him. Some of the kills feel like that too, especially toward the end. The one where he shoots Sonny through the pipe, through the sink, that feels like a thing where it's like, this shouldn't be possible.
Right.
And it's just like the universe being like, all right, Ghost Dog, like, fuck him up.
Yeah, and that's a reference to a scene in one of the films that Jarmusch was influenced by.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But there is a thing in this movie that, you know, everything is sort of just a little bit divorced from reality and a little fantastical. One of the things is like, this movie was shot in New Jersey. Yeah, but the license plates don't indicate what state they're in.
Yeah, it just says like the highway state or whatever on it.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so it's in some fictional city somewhere. And then, you know, at the end of the movie, when they do the High Noon Showdown.
Yeah.
And like Ghost Dog takes several bullets to the chest.
Yeah, it just keeps walking.
You know, that feels like like reality kind of warping around him and bending around him.
Yeah, he's just like a mythical figure.
Yeah.
Like he is like a legendary, hero from like ancient stories or something, but he just lives in the modern world, And I like that everyone is sort of like confounded by him too. Like Louis especially is just like where did you come from, man? Like why are you like this? Because they don't understand like his like passion and like his work ethic really is kind of what that feels like it stands in for to me. It feels like they're like, why are you trying so hard? Like, why do you give so much of a shit? And it's like he is just like very like passionate,
And the other thing is like the dog that runs it, that he meets in the park and then later sees him out on the street while he's going to an assassination, and the dog just kind of looks at him very knowingly.
Yeah.
And the movie never spells it out, but there is this implied kind of spiritual connection between him and the dog.
Right. The dog kind of is him, maybe. Yeah. I also like phenomenal dog acting, first of all. Because
great dog acting.
All this dog does is just like stare basically straight down the barrel of the camera, but you are getting so much from this dog's performance. Also, we talk about like guys with faces, which there are a lot of in this movie. Mm-hmm. This is a dog with a face. Like this is a dog where you put this dog in front of the camera and you're like, what a fascinating dog to look at.
Yeah, that's a pit bull.
Yeah,
it's an interesting looking pit bull.
Yeah, it's some kind of pit mix because it's like not like purebred pit bull because it's not quite as like its head isn't quite as like big and chunky. But it is like some kind of pit mix, and just looking at it, you're like, this dog's got like so much expression just in this neutral face that it's making,
Yeah.
So they found a good dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perline?
Yeah.
Great kid acting,
yes,
too.
Excellent kid. Yeah.
Love
I love
this kid.
Perline. Their scene in the park where they meet is so delightful. It's so heartwarming and sweet. And her showing him her books is like the best because that's when he kind of lights up with human emotion really for the first time in the movie, and you see like some like softness and warmth from him, and it's like, oh yeah, he this is a human being. He's like not a cold-blooded killer. Like he's a samurai, he's a warrior, so like violence is his job. But he's also like a very genuine person, and he's passionate about reading and is excited to meet someone who shares his passion, right? And when she's talking about the books that she read, and he's like impressed with how well read she is, and she feels the same way because the first book that she pulls out, I don't remember what it is. He mentioned something from the book, and she's like, "You really did read it."
She pulls out Frankenstein. She pulls out a book called "The Souls of Black Folk," and then she pulls out like a dime store kind of trashy, sleazy novel.
There's one before that he says he read in school or something.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I like the trashy dime store paperback. And she's like, I haven't read that one. I just like the cover.
Yeah. But there is this thing about sharing knowledge and being a well-rounded person.
Yeah.
And when he hands her Rashomon, he's really interested in what she thinks of it when she finishes it.
Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the coolest thing that happens in the movie is at the end of the movie when he hands her the samurai code.
Yep.
And it's like it's a really nice passing of the torch in a way. And then the other thing that I really like is she picks up the gun and pulls the trigger to shoot Louis in the back. And the gun's not loaded. Yeah. So the trigger just goes click. Louis kind of stumbles, which is really a really cool moment.
Yeah.
The kind of reality warping around Ghost Dog. But it's like it's Ghost Dog wants to pass the torch in terms of knowledge and philosophy and cultural history.
Yeah, and an appreciation for this tradition that means something very profound to him.
Right.
Yeah.
and while also like shielding her from violence.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's good that the gun doesn't go off.
Yeah.
And she doesn't go down a path of violence necessarily.
Yeah, and even at the end of the movie when she's reading the Code of the Samurai, it doesn't necessarily have the vibe of this girl's going to grow up to be a hitman.
Yeah.
It's kind of more like she has he recognized a kindred spirit, and he passed on this thing that had this profound meaning to him to a younger generation who's now going to take it and carry it forward into the future in whatever way, you know, makes sense to her, you know, which is that's how culture and tradition should work, right? It should adapt to the needs of the younger generation who is picking up the torch from where it was left off, right? And I feel like that's really what the end of the movie is saying, more than like, you know, the Kill Bill thing of like, come and find me someday type of deal.
Right. They're not setting up a Ghost Dog sequel.
Yeah.
Although I would watch 10 movies with Ghost Dog.
Right, sure. And also if like Grown Up Perline was like a samurai hitman, I would watch that movie too. But like, but I don't think that's what the end of the movie is doing.
Yeah. Jarmusch did another movie with Issach de Bankolé. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yes.
The actor who plays Raymond.
Yes. Who I knew from Casino Royale. He showed up on screen and I was like, I think I know that guy. He's in Casino Royale, right? And then I looked it up and he was.
He did a movie called Limits of Control. And I think he plays a hitman criminal in that movie, and it's sort of like, my understanding is it's kind of a spiritual successor to Ghost Dog in some ways, without being like a direct sequel. So it's almost like, he's going to be in Dune Part 3.
Oh, shit.
Who's he going to be in Dune? Let me look that up.
Issach de Bankolé is?
Yeah, Farouk. He's going to be, I guess, a Fremen.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
It's almost like his character in Limits of Control is kind of a continuation of where Raymond is at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in it now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love his performance in this movie too. Like we talked about how we like the dynamic between the two characters, but also just like as a performance, I think this is great. I love his sort of like excitement and joy, which is so infectious. And like, even though Ghost Dog is a little bit more stoic, he can't help but have it like rub off on him a little bit, you know? Because like Raymond is like, he has the whole thing where he's like so excited because he heard that ice cream is healthy for you, which is a really funny running gag. And then at the end when he's like, I also have terrible news. It turns out ice cream isn't good for you after all. There's too much sugar and not enough calcium. It's like simultaneously it is a very funny way for them to wrap up that running gag where he's like, damn, ice cream's actually really bad for you. But it's also sad. It's so sad because you're like, man, he was so excited about this.
Yeah, it sucks to watch him be sad.
Yeah. And then like my favorite, one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is when Raymond really excitedly is like, hey, Ghost Dog, you got to come up to the roof and see this. I like found like the coolest shit. You're like not going to believe this. And like Ghost Dog doesn't understand a word he's saying, obviously. And they go up to the roof and there's this guy building a boat on the roof of the adjacent building. And Raymond, it's one of those moments where they're both saying the same thing in different languages, and you know they're understanding each other even though they're not understanding each other. Because Raymond's like, you know, this is amazing, but how's he ever going to get it down from there and to the water, right? And then Ghost Dog basically says the same thing. And then Raymond starts like hollering at the guy and being like, hey man, like, what you doing? And then the guy turns around and he says in Spanish, I'm sorry, I can't understand you. I have to get back to work. And I love that all three of them can't understand each other, but they're still sharing kind of this joyful moment where they're like, and I love one of the things that Raymond says is he's like, this is crazy. He's a genius, you know?
Yeah, they're perplexed and bewildered by him, but they also really admire him and respect him.
And they're sort of making fun of him because they're like, what's this crazy guy doing building a boat on his roof? But at the same time, they're like, this is really impressive. You know, he like, wow, he's so accomplished. He's making a whole ass boat.
Yeah.
You know, and I love this moment of this movie. This is like one of my favorite scenes in the movie, primarily because it feels like it could mean so many different things, that this is a scene that I feel like I could just pick apart until the end of time and just continue mining new things from it. But it's also because it's just so fun and joyful to watch, and mostly because Issach de Bankolé is injecting so much like joy and like he's just like full of like joie de vivre. Like this guy just loves being alive, and he like saw this guy building a boat on the adjacent roof, and he was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. I have to show my best friend. You know, it's great. I love it so much. Yeah.
Anything else about Ghost Dog?
I don't know. So far this episode has been pretty short, and I feel like we must have more to say, but
yeah. Is there anything that you don't like about this movie?
I will say, so like, it's a relatively minor gripe, but a thing that didn't always work for me is one of the visual stylistic things that Jim Jarmusch employs in this movie is like this, it's like a blur effect sometimes.
Yeah, you really notice it when he's training with the sword on the roof.
Yeah, and sometimes it worked for me and sometimes it didn't. One of the times it didn't work for me is when he stops at the like the rest stop with the picnic table to switch the license plates, and it literally like it feels like it's jump cutting, like jump match cutting, where like nothing in the frame has moved except for like the car door and Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah,
and it's like it feels like we're jumping from him opening the door to then being slightly out of the door for no reason. And I was like, I get that this is a stylistic thing, but it doesn't always work for me. Like I'm not I get that it's like a vibe or whatever, but I'm also like, I don't know if I need this here.
Yeah, there's a couple scenes where it's like the camera will be static. It'll be holding that same shot.
Yeah.
And then there's one really early in the morning where Ghost Dog crosses the street.
Yeah.
And it's like Ghost Dog on the other end of the street, and then it fades to him into like the middle of the street, and then it fades to him on the other end of the street.
Yeah. And other times in the movie we're watching him do stuff in real time. Mm-hmm. So it does feel weird to me when the movie just sometimes chooses to cut around his movement instead of showing it to us in full like it is at other times.
I think that is I don't think I noticed it.
Yeah.
I especially noticed the blur effect during the sword scene on the roof.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's just adding to Ghost Dog's whole aura of being a ghost,
right?
And being a silent stoic killer in the night. So I think it mostly works for me. I can't think of any moment that really took me out of it.
Yeah, I think it works. It worked for me about half the time, and then the other half of the time I was like, I don't know if I need this. I think maybe more stuff where you choreograph movement around him, like when the guy's taking the trash out and like turns around without seeing him. I feel like moments like that are more effective for me than like the camera trick or the editing trick thing of like, he's there and now he's there, you know? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, is it terrible? No. Did it sometimes leave me scratching my head being like, I don't know why they made that choice when I feel like we could have done this in a way that was like maybe drew less attention to itself, but accomplished the same thing. I do think that's the only thing that I can think of in terms of like critiques though. Like otherwise I think there's nothing really else that stuck out to me other than that, like very occasionally, because this movie has like a lower budget. There's some things where you can just obviously tell that like the big one that I'm thinking of is like when there's all those dead pigeons, you can just tell that a lot of those dead pigeons are just like stuffed pigeon puppets with a little bit of fake blood smeared on them. But it's like, I don't care. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
You can just tell that some of them are cheap props, which is like whatever, you know.
I think during the shootout at the mansion, a couple of the guys are rigged with squibs, and then a couple of them either don't have squibs or the squibs don't go off.
Yeah.
I caught that too.
Yeah. But like all of that stuff, I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah,
I don't mind it. Speaking of the pigeon scene though, where he comes back and his like rooftop sanctuary has been ransacked.
Mm-hmm.
Very heartbreaking scene.
Yeah.
The thing that like really got me, first of all, RZA's score in that bit is great. Where it's kind of like, it's much more somber and like slower than the kind of driving beats that have been carrying us through the rest of the movie. But then also like all the pigeons are dead, which is super sad. But then he has his little like shrine. Because he seems to have been practicing since he's a samurai, some kind of like Shinto religious ceremony where he like burns incense and kind of like prays at this like shrine that he's constructed. And they fucking trashed his shrine. And that was the thing that really got me, where I was like, that's like the destruction of this man's culture, you know? And it's a moment where it feels like it lands so powerfully in part because these are like, again, like white conservative guys that are doing this to like a poor black guy. But it's like the fact that his culture is this like ancient Japanese samurai code, right? Instead of like as a stand-in for any other type of culture that is like othered and marginalized and attacked by the powers that be. I feel like it just provides you such an easy visual metaphor to like to cultural violence, I guess, right? Is like seeing the broken shrine is like such an easy way for you to understand like the deep wound that causes. Right.
Yeah, another scene that does that is the kind of the montage of the mobsters looking for Ghost Dog. And they going around and looking for guys on rooftops with pigeons.
Yeah.
And they run into Gary Farmer, who was also in Jim Jarmusch's Dead Man.
Yeah.
Who's a Native American. And shoot one of his pigeons.
Yes.
And
first they debate whether he's black or not.
Yeah.
And he's not saying shit. He's just looking at him being like what are these two fucking assholes?
These guys show up on my rooftop with guns.
Pointing guns at me, right. And then, so they're debating whether this Native American guy is black or not. And then, they shoot one of his pigeons. And I like his reaction just being like, stupid fucking white man.
Yeah, and there's like a close-up of the dead pigeon.
Yeah.
And it's like, it really hurts him.
It's sad.
And it's like fucking stupid white man coming and destroying my life and my culture again.
Yeah. And they're like, what did you say? And he says it again. He's like, I called you a stupid fucking white man because you're like being an asshole. And I really like that scene too. And I like his reaction to them is like not fear at all. He's just like, God damn it, I got to deal with this shit again, just like another day with you fucking people, basically. And then there's also the scene where they go up on the roof and there's like the other guy who's tending to the pigeons on the roof who's like an older black man. Mm-hmm. And they just straight up murder this guy because they know that they're looking for a black guy who lives on a roof and tends pigeons, right? And their orders are like, if he even looks a little bit like the guy, just kill him. And like I like that guy is like, he turns around and he's like, say fellas, what the heck's going on? Like he's like really like aw shucks about it. And then they just like pump this guy full of lead. And it's like so sad. But it's also like kind of funny how incompetent they are at the same time.
Yeah.
Where you're kind of like, these guys suck so bad at being mobsters. They're just going around fucking murdering random people. And like, they're not even close. Yeah. I like all of that stuff and like the sort of the attack on the community, like when they go after Ghost Dog. And you kind of get that he like feels that too. Like even though there's not like the big moment of it is him finding his pigeons, but you kind of do feel throughout the movie that he has an understanding that he has to end this because other people in the community are going to be at risk if they come after him. It feels like it's much less, actually, it's textually not about saving his life, because the first thing that we hear from him in the movie, the first part of the samurai code that he reads, is that a samurai has to meditate on their own death anytime they have a free moment.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, and like a samurai must consider himself as already dead is like one of the things that he reads, right? So none of this is about self-preservation for him. All of him going after the mob and like wiping all these guys out is to prevent collateral damage from hitting his community, right? Because he doesn't care that if he dies. At the end, he embraces it, right? But it's totally about making sure that like shit like what goes down on the rooftop where they shoot the wrong guy doesn't happen, you know?
Because Ghost Dog's the fucking man.
Yeah, he's a fucking man. He's a pillar of the community. We love Ghost Dog.
Ghost Dog for mayor.
Honestly, yeah, at least city council. Get that guy on the city council.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got some like fucking very like sound policy proposals. I would trust that guy with a city budget. For sure.
Yeah. More ice cream trucks.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's right. He's friends to the immigrant community. He's like a friend to small business. He's great.
He can end crime.
Oh yeah. Also, he's really good at murdering people.
He can get the Bloods and the Crips to unite.
Yeah, you can abolish police if you have Ghost Dog running your local government.
Yeah,
because then Ghost Dog can just kill anyone who is doing bad things.
You just put a Ghost Dog a spotlight on top of the police. That's
right. Yeah.
Ghost Dog.
Right. Vigilante justice is what should replace policing. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What else? There must be more to talk about that we're forgetting in this movie. I'm going to be kicking myself later. But for now, all I can think about is how cool Ghost Dog is.
He's so cool.
His outfit is cool, too, even though it's pretty basic. Like, he's got like the zip-up black hoodie, but he wears it so well.
Well, and the hoodie has the
yes,
the insignia that's actually in the actual Code of the Samurai book that he reads from.
Yes, yeah. And I like that all of the like interstitial cards where he's reading from the book all end with that like seal too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, he's got the thing on the back of the hoodie, so it's kind of like his like ceremonial, like it feels like his warrior uniform, you know?
Right.
I also like when he's driving that convertible and he's got the hood up and then he puts the top up and then he takes the hood down.
Yeah, he steals a convertible from one of the actresses who plays one of the wives in The Sopranos. Too.
Yes, yeah. She's like going into a bodega to like buy some shit, and she leaves her Jaguar running outside. Huge mistake. You might as well just like slap a "Steal Me" sign on the hood.
Yep.
And yeah, he walks up to the car. He doesn't even have to use his electronic doohickey. She left the keys in it. And a CD. So is he traveling with the CDs?
He's traveling with the CDs.
Okay. Is he just pulling him out of his jacket?
I think so, because he's got one of those CD envelopes. Right?
Oh, got it.
Those binders where you can put your CDs. I think he's traveling with them and putting them in the CD player.
Cool. Yeah, that was a question that I had where I was like,
get this man an iPod.
Yeah. Right. Ghost Dog would love Spotify.
He's a couple years away from an iPod.
Or Ghost Dog wouldn't use Spotify. He'd probably use like fucking Tidal or whatever. He'd be too cool for Spotify.
He would be.
Yeah. He'd be buying albums on Bandcamp probably.
Yeah.
But when he steals the Jaguar and he puts in that like frantic like really like wild jazz song that is then playing when he like breaks into Sonny's house. I the whole time I was like, did that lady in the Jaguar have this CD? Because this does not seem like her vibe.
Also, I
would be expecting like a Poison CD from this lady.
I love Sonny applying baby powder to his ass while dancing to Public Enemy.
That was the second biggest laugh in this movie for me, topped only by that old guy falling dead from a heart attack. But yes, I love him fucking just putting baby powder on his chafing ass cheeks. Right before he looks down the drain and gets shot in the head. It's so awesome. That scene is so great. I also love him cutting the cable to the TV. Because there's like a goon who's like watching again cartoons. He's like watching Felix the Cat or whatever on TV, and Ghost Dog like cuts the cable, and the guy like gets really close to the TV to be like, "What's wrong with this fucking thing?" And Ghost Dog just slaps the tape on the window so that the whole window doesn't shatter and just shoots through it. We also see him build a silencer at one point, which is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that shit. That was reminding me of Thief, where like it's like a process scene where it's like this is like every step in doing this thing, and he's like assembling the silencer for the pistol and everything. Yeah. The guns in this movie. Any notable gun trivia? I know you know more about this stuff.
No,
than
I would
do.
say I was going to look up what guns are in this movie because he has his main pistol is it looks almost like it looks like it has a suppressor built into it, like a well rod from the World War II.
Yeah.
But it's not a well rod. And then the pistol that he makes the silencer for is a different pistol. So when he's dual wielding the pistols at the mansion, he has two different ones.
Yeah. I like his sniper rifle.
His rifle's
too.
cool. Yeah,
that's
I don't
pretty
know what
cool
it
with the
is.
folding stock and everything.
Yeah, I meant to look up the guns. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you're fine.
One of the gangsters has a 1911. I know that.
Yeah, I like this. Speaking of the guns, I like the moment too where Raymond has the gun in the back of his pants, and Ghost Dog notices it. This is like right at the end,
right,
like right when Lou's about to shoot him, with the high noon shit. But before that, he sees the gun in Raymond's pants, and he's like, "Turn around, like show me that again." And he pulls the gun out and unloads it and sticks it in the briefcase with all of his guns and locks it. Because he's like, it's the same thing with Perline. He's like trying to protect these people from the life that he has to live. He's like, I don't want violence for you. And much like the ancient samurai, the idea is there's a guy whose job is violence so that other people can live in peace, but in like a less shitty and like jingoistic way than when people talk about the military in those terms. There's a element of like spirituality and like higher purpose to the way that Ghost Dog is operating.
Yeah.
Which I think that shit is really cool. I really like that scene.
Ghost Dog has a Ruger Mark II, and that's the one that I thought looked like the well rod.
Oh, gotcha.
And then his other one is an Astra A100 with a laser sight. And the
laser sight is fun.
The rifle is a Ruger Mini 14.
Oh shit. Okay.
With a folding stock.
Cool.
My
dad used to work for Ruger when I was a kid.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he worked at they had a manufacturing plant in Prescott when I was growing up. And yeah, he used to work at the Ruger manufacturing plant. I think he was like I don't know what his title was, but I know that he like worked his way up and was like a factory foreman or something. Mm-hmm. He ended up being in management. Yeah. There.
The looking at the internet movie Firearms Database reminded me about the scene where he kills the bear hunters.
Oh yeah, we do need to talk about that.
That's a cool ass scene.
Yes. So like I said, the boat on the rooftop is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. This is probably my favorite scene in the movie. Number one, because bears are my favorite animal, and I love seeing these bear poachers get iced. And I like seeing a very fake dead bear because it's always nice in a movie when you can tell that the animal that had violence done to it is just a big stuffed puppet.
Yeah.
Which is very true of this bear. But yeah, these two fucking like racist hicks immediately like Ghost Dog like pulls over because he sees this dead bear and he's like, I'm gonna start some shit with these guys basically. But these guys are like easy to start shit with. Like he starts talking to them relatively politely and basically immediately they're like, we don't get too many coloreds around these parts. And it's like, all right, I get you. And then yeah, he just fucking like blows these two fuckers away, which is awesome. And I love what's the thing he says to the second guy that he shoots? Is that when he drops the we don't live in an ancient world anymore, and he's like, sometimes we do. I think that's another scene.
I think that might be something he says to Louis.
Yeah.
I think there's something that the hunters say about like, well, because they're poachers, about like hunting the bears to extinction and stuff.
Yeah. Because there's not that many left,
there's
right?
nothing- and then-
and he's like, that's why you shoot them, because there's not that many left.
Yeah,
which is so fucked up. Yeah.
And it's like it's another cool parallel to Ghost Dog because he's kind of the last of his kind.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love the way that scene ends with like just like fully the camera's just looking down the barrel of the suppressor on Ghost Dog's gun when he pulls the trigger. Great moment. Yeah. I feel like I might not have anything else.
Yeah.
I feel like we hit it.
I think we got it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty simple movie.
It is
in terms of structure.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, there's a lot that you can mine thematically and stuff, but like it is, at the end of the day, a fucking ass magnet, enjoyable, entertaining film. So you can also just like vibe with it.
Yeah.
Just
pop a couple gummies and throw on Ghost Dog.
Hell yeah, dude. I watched this first thing in the morning, so I was unaltered by any substances, but it would be a great high watch.
I bet, yeah.
I was high as balls when I watched Thief, and that was a great choice. I was like, this movie fucking owns. Although James Caan did start stressing me out a little bit.
He's an intense guy.
I bet late in the second act, beginning of the third act, I was like, you gotta chill the fuck out, man.
Yeah.
You are scaring me.
Yeah, Frank Thief needs to calm down.
Yeah. I also watched In a Violent Nature High, but that's like basically required.
Oh, that's
yeah. I'm like, I can't imagine not taking an edible before watching that movie, because otherwise, I like when I take an edible and the trudging feels like it goes on for 25 uninterrupted minutes. If it actually ended after like 4 or whatever it is in reality, I'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
I gotta feel that time stretch when I'm, walking the woods with Johnny Violent Nature.
I was just thinking about Michael Mann, and you got to watch Heat, dude.
I do gotta watch Heat.
I just keep thinking about that. You got to watch Heat.
Yeah, I gotta watch Heat. The only scene I've ever seen from Heat is, the one that everybody's seen.
She got a
great ass! Yeah.
Fucking God.
Oh, actually, sorry. A thing that just occurred to me, I guess because great ass reminded me of the scene where the guy who he steals the suit from is walking with, who appears to be a sex worker. And he steals both the suit and the dress. So that's a really interesting thing, because then when he raids the mobster's compound, and he meets the mob boss's daughter again, like, Ghost Dog never does anything by accident in the movie. Like, the movie's very intentional about showing that everything he does has a purpose. Mm-hmm. And he steals both a suit and a dress, not just the suit. And so I think that there is part of him that is sort of keeping the option open to bring her with him in some way. To like maybe offer her an option to like leave her life, and like maybe the dress is for her so that she has something to change into on the run or something.
Oh, that's that's possible.
Because
they don't bring the dress back.
They never bring the dress back.
Yeah.
But he steals both, and I'm like, that feels like such an intentional choice, that it's not just the guy, it's a guy and a woman, and it is a bigger guy and a smaller woman, right? And then he puts on the bigger guy's suit, and then like the only character who we have seen who could possibly fit into that dress is her, right? So I'm like, I feel like that must be who it's for in his head. And then he interacts with her again and just decides no, because they're like he shoots her father in front of her. And I think part of it is the fear that she reacts with, right? And he's like, oh, never mind. Like, that was stupid. Like, yeah, I shouldn't have entertained
I
that.
like her popping up throughout the movie, and I like the kind of the kinship that they have.
Yeah.
And then at the end where it's clear that she's taken her father's place as control control of the
Yes.
criminal empire.
And I like her turning off the cartoons and being like, that's not how we're doing this shit anymore.
Yeah.
It kind of does feel like in the same way that Perline is moving things forward as kind of the next generation. The mob boss's daughter is doing the same thing. And she's being like, you guys, are... we're the era of like sitting around and smoking cigars and eating gabagool and watching cartoons is behind us. We're like doing shit my way now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did have some gabagool while watching this.
I had some gabagool a couple days ago. I was at the grocery store picking up groceries and I was like, I should get a little snack for daddy. Well,
Yep.
while I'm at the grocery store, let me pick up this fucking gabagool and house it in the car.
Yeah.
You got to do it sometimes.
I
Sometimes the body needs nitrates.
I crack it open and the cats come running.
Yeah.
They know it's time for prosciutto.
They're like, yes, Papa has arrived with the prosciutto. That's Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai.
Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai.
Yeah.
Great title. But is it the greatest movie ever made?
You tell me, David. Is Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai the greatest movie ever made?
Justice. Yes.
Yeah.
I think this movie fucking rips. I liked it even more this time. It's such a great movie to just vibe out to, and then it also gives you so much to think about and mull over in regards to philosophy and community. And it's also really cool that like Jim Jarmusch made such a black movie.
Yeah.
Like somehow he found a way to tap into like as a white guy,
Right.
as much as I can understand it.
We are both white guys.
Yeah.
But I feel like even as white guys, we have both seen examples of white people trying to do black stories and failing. And this to me doesn't feel like that.
Yes, it feels like he really applied himself to writing a story and shooting a movie that was immersed in black culture and focused on black communities in a way that other white directors would not have done.
Yeah, and I think part of that is like he partnered with RZA and Forrest Whitaker, who are totemic black artists, to make that happen. Right.
They're it's clear that like their creative voices were very much included when he made this film.
Yeah,
and I think it shows. It's also just like a great mashup of genres and things that have come before in a way that feels fresh and new and exciting, and also doesn't feel like overly kitschy and silly. It's also so super fucking funny, and also very sweet and earnest and sincere. I don't feel like this movie is ever really ironic or cynical or winking at the audience. It feels like a true artist was behind this movie, had a very specific vision, and accomplished it. And what he accomplished was making one of the coolest movies ever, with one of the coolest characters in movie history.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai, fucking watch it.
Yeah.
It's called Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai.
Yep.
Doesn't that sound cool?
It's on HBO Max if you have that. Or you can, just like rent it or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe your local library has it.
Yeah, there you go.
I've been getting a lot of movies from the library lately. So
Fucking buy a Blu-ray. It's worth owning.
yeah, it's a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
Justice is Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai, the greatest movie ever made.
David, yes. This is an easy yes for me. I fucking loved this movie. Really happy that you picked this one. I don't know if I would have watched it if it hadn't been for you mandating it on the show, because it wasn't on my radar at all. And definitely makes me interested in exploring more of Jim Jarmusch's movies. Also makes me want to watch more of Forrest Whitaker's films.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, he's a guy that I've always appreciated, but I don't think I've seen him anchor a movie this way with a performance that is so compelling and magnetic and empathetic. And the fact that he's able to do that in a role that is like so dialogue light too is very impressive. Just a really impressive showcase from him as an actor.
Right. He's really excellent in The Last King of Scotland,
which I have not seen.
I just don't think the film was as strong as his performance.
He won an Oscar for that, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else I've seen him in that where he really stands out. But yeah,
I mean, he's always the standout of one of my favorite Star Wars movies, Rogue One, where he goes, "Poor gullet, the poor gullet will know. Poor gullet will know the truth. One tends to lose one's mind." I could do Saw Gerrera voice for another 40 minutes.
What a fucking insane choice that he made with that voice.
Lies, deceptions. Every day, more lies.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of things that I've seen, but has rarely stood out to me like he does in this.
Yeah.
So I gotta watch more of his shit.
Sometimes when my my dogs and cat try to beg for more treats when I've already given them a treat, and they're trying to fool me into giving them more treats, I will go lies, deceptions at them.
I just lapse into Tony Soprano voice with them. Especially if I'm watching Sopranos.
Yeah.
I'll be like, one of them will meow at me, and I'll be like, "What the fuck do you want?"
Yeah. Anyway, Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai is the greatest movie ever made. I mean, it is stylish and fun and funny and thoughtful and intelligent and, most of all, as we have said over and over on this episode, cool as fuck. What a cool movie. I feel like I am now a person with cooler and better taste by virtue of having seen it and enjoying it. And it's great to have that experience with a piece of art. It's great to experience a piece of art where you're like, I'm a more badass, interesting person because I have engaged with this thing.
Gang, this summer we are ghost dog maxing.
That's right.
We are taking naps on the roof.
Yep.
We are reading samurai philosophy.
We
are training with the blade.
We're sending messenger pigeons. We're going to put our car keys away by swinging them around a bunch of times first.
We'll be eating more chocolate ice cream.
And it'll definitely be cool and not lame at all when we, a couple of white guys, are doing it. It's the greatest movie ever made. This movie fucking rules.
Sick.
RZA is so cool, by the way. Just what a cool guy.
Yeah.
I know he doesn't need, that validation from me. But if I may say, RZA?
He was just on the Adam
cool
Friedland show.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
That's awesome.
I just can't believe that the worst Cumtown member is interviewing a guy from Wu-Tang.
Yeah, that's wild.
The least funny guy.
It is crazy.
On Cumtown.
It is crazy the cultural impact that Cumtown has had.
Truly.
It's like that. It doesn't make any sense. It does seem like a fever dream, the world that we're living in, where the guys from Cumtown are all kind of celebrities in their own right.
Yeah.
RZA also wrote a ballet. He composed a ballet. I heard about that on NPR.
Jeez.
NPR was talking about it maybe 4 or 5 months ago, where they were like, yeah, RZA has composed a ballet, and his ballet is premiering at some prestigious, whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, what a fucking multi-talented musical genius. He's also directed films. He's acted in films.
Right.
Just what a fucking cool dude. And I feel like a lot of this movie's coolness is sort of rooted in RZA's sort of creative influence, because since this movie is so Wu-Tang Clan coded, and since Jim Jarmusch clearly was very heavily inspired by their music, it feels like in many ways not just him scoring the movie and appearing in the movie, but also just his music influencing Jim Jarmusch to write this thing in the first place. It kind of feels like the origin point of a lot of the coolest things about the movie are just from RZA. So yeah, fucking cool ass movie. Loved it.
Cool.
Incredible.
What are we watching next week?
David, I was looking at our back catalog and being like, are there any glaring gaps in our, what we've covered? And one of the things that was sticking out to me is there are some notable directors that we haven't hit yet. And so I was like, maybe we should do a big name, right?
Uh-huh.
So I landed on One of the bigger names. Is kind of amazing that a movie podcast hosted by two white guys hasn't talked about a Coen Brothers movie yet. But I thought it would be fun to do one that I haven't seen rather than doing No Country for Old Men or Fargo. And so I tried to pick one that I don't think either of us have seen. So next week we're going to be talking about the Coen Brothers film Barton Fink. Have you seen Barton Fink?
I haven't seen Barton Fink.
Great. It'll be first time for both of us.
Sick.
I was really hoping that would be the case.
Cool.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot about that one. I have seen the obviously very iconic poster with John Turturro with the mosquito on his head and shit. But I know nothing about it other than that John Turturro's in it and John Goodman is in it, apparently being very unhinged. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited to dive into Barton Fink with you for the first time for both of us.
Cool.
Yeah.
So join us next week for Barton Fink. In the meantime, please recommend the show to your friends. Leave us a comment. Follow us on Instagram at TGMEM_podcast. Send us an email at thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com. And be kind to each other.
Yes.
And
be the ghost dog you want to see in the world.
And get some chocolate ice cream.
That's right.
And maybe jam some Wu-Tang.
Yes. And be kind to an immigrant who owns a local business.
Yeah. Wu-Tang is for the children. We love you guys so much. See you next week. And as always, later, dipshits.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Greatest Movie Ever Made. Please remember to leave us a rating and a review, and to subscribe to the show wherever you listen. We appreciate you supporting the show and spreading the word. Tell your friends to listen. Tell your enemies to listen. Tell your mom to listen. If your neighbor has an unsecured Bluetooth speaker, connect to it and play an episode. You can follow us on social media at TGMEM_podcast. And if you've got a movie that you want us to talk about, send us an email at thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com.